Hey, hello guys. Welcome back to our live webinars at Study Academy for our summertime program. And it's our 5th webinar. Welcome back. How are you? How are you doing? How's your week? Have you got a busy week or a relaxing week? Tell me about how you spent this week. What about your plans for this weekend? What are you going to do? Do you have anything interesting to do? I hope you're doing great and you spent your week nicely and you have a wonderful plan for this weekend. It's extremely hot outside and it's time to go to the river, to the sea, and fresh yourself a little bit. Okay, so let's come to our today's webinar. I see some comments. Elizabeth, hello, a busy week. Oh, what have you done? Was it difficult for you? Okay, so, oh, sorry. Just a moment, it's another. It's another presentation. Okay, yeah. But it will be relaxing weekends. Okay, what are you going to do at your weekends? Do you have any plans? Okay, so let's come to our webinar and let's talk about what you have learned this week. This week, you have learned models of obligation. And for vocabulary, you learned words connected to the weather conditions. Okay, so before we start, let's watch the video. And as you watch the video, you need to answer one question. What kinds of severe weather have you seen? So let's watch the video, and as you watch, write down weather conditions that you have seen in the video.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about, sorry about that. Today we're going to talk about, are you finished, Thunder? Thank you. Thunder's pretty excited because today's episode is all about it. Well, to be more specific, today's episode is all about severe weather. But before things get all snowy, windy, and rainy in here, let's bundle up and ask ourselves the big question. What exactly is severe weather, and how is it different from regular weather? We know that weather is a condition of the air or atmosphere on our planet. Severe weather is the same thing, only more extreme. Extreme! But what does that mean? How do you know when weather is severe or extreme and when it isn't? Well, severe weather is any dangerous act of nature that puts people, animals, or buildings at risk. Some light rain probably wouldn't count as severe weather, but a thunderstorm with heavy rain and lightning would. Tornadoes, blizzards, hurricanes, floods, and droughts are other forms of severe weather that can be dangerous to humans. But the more you know about these weather events, the less scary they seem. Let's start with tornadoes. A tornado is a fast-spinning column of air that stretches all the way from a thunderstorm cloud down to the Earth's surface. With wind speeds of up to over 300 kilometers an hour, tornadoes have the power to pick up and destroy everything in their path. While not quite as windy as a tornado, blizzards are storms with blowing or falling snow, high winds of their own, and cold temperatures. Hurricanes, or typhoons, are storms with high winds and heavy rain that start over warm ocean waters and bring lots of water with them. Speaking of lots of water, let's talk flooding. Floods happen when too much rain forces streams, rivers, and lakes to overflow, sending lots and lots of water where it doesn't belong, like your backyard. A drought is sort of the opposite. Think a lot less water, or no water at all. Droughts happen when an area doesn't receive enough rainfall, drying up rivers and lakes, killing trees, and ruining crops. All of those forms of severe weather have a big impact on the biosphere and the geosphere. How so? Let's find out. I'll conjure up some different types of severe weather to see exactly how shakeups in the atmosphere can impact the biosphere and the geosphere. Severe weather can be dangerous for people, obviously, but beyond affecting humans in the biosphere, severe weather can also affect plants and animals too. Take a drought. After very long spells without enough rain, this nice mountain pond will become smaller and maybe even dry up entirely. That means less habitat for the animals that live in the water, like ducks and beavers, but it also means less plant life around because plants need water too. And fewer plants mean less food for animals like deer and elk that feast on them. But what about the opposite problem? What about too much water in the form of heavy rain? Really strong thunderstorms can sometimes bring lightning and high winds that can damage trees, maybe breaking off some of their limbs, uprooting them, or even setting them on fire. This is bad news not only for the tree, but also for everything that lives in it. And finally, even the ground, as solid as it might seem, can be reshaped by severe weather. Strong, recurring floodwaters act like powerful rivers and can actually wear down rocky formations like mountains over time. And sometimes big flows of rainwater can cause a slope or hillside to collapse in an event called a mudslide. The atmosphere interacts strongly with the other spheres of the environment, particularly when it's cooking up severe weather. It can even move things in the biosphere and reshape the geosphere. So now you know how to tell if weather is severe or not. Ask yourself, does it put life or property at risk? Does it have a major impact on the biosphere and the geosphere? If the answer is yes, you're not dealing with normal weather patterns. Severe weather might be less common, but it has a much bigger impact on the world around you. Anything to add, Thunder? I guess that means we're done.
Okay, you have seen the video about the severe weather, so what kinds of severe weather have you seen in the video? Write down in the chat box. And while you're writing your answers, let's come back to the revision. So, as usual, we're going to start with the grammar material that you have studied this week. And at the beginning of our lesson, I told that there are models of obligations. So let's talk about the models of obligation and what we use them for and why we need it. So modals or modal verbs are special verbs in English. And we have different kinds of modals. And today we're going to talk about modals of obligations. They are must, have to, and should. These are the main modals of obligation. Must, have to, should. The past form of have to or has to is had to. Must and should don't have the past form. You remember some basic rules about our modals. Must and should do not change in persons. No matter what person stands near these modals, they do not change. I must clean my room. She must clean her room. We must clean our rooms. Or should, the same. We should take this medicine. She should take this medicine, and so on. But have to is a little bit tricky because for he, she, it, we use has to. I have to clean my room, or she has to clean my room, or she has to clean her room. Okay, so let's have a look at more examples. You must stop here. You have to wear a seat belt when you drive. You must answer at least one question. You should call Mary. I know she misses you a lot. She looks sick. She should go home. I must do some work. You shouldn't have smoked. I have to return the book now. I had to wear a school uniform when I was a child. So we use must, have to, and should to talk about obligation. Obligation is something that is necessary to do. Do you know the difference between must and have to? Must is used when we talk about the personal obligation, and have to when we talk about the general obligation or when someone tells us what to do. And should is more as a piece of advice or recommendation. When we need to make a negative sentence, we use not, must not or mustn't, have to or don't have to, doesn't have to, should and shouldn't or should not. Okay, and let's review the rules there. Yeah, must. Official written rule. You must be 18 or older to vote. Duty or strong moral obligation. You must respect your parents. Should. It's the personal obligation. Weaker than must. I should eat more vegetables. Have to. Used in place of must when speaking, not a modal verb. She has to finish the report by 5. So these are the main basic rules for using must, should, and have to. One more time, must. We used to talk about official or written rules. Duty or strong moral obligation. Should is more personal and it's a little bit weaker than must. And have to, we can use instead of must when speaking. Okay, so these are the main information, pieces of information about our models of obligation. And I see some answers for the previous task. So let's have a look at them. Елизавета wrote tornado, blizzard, hurricane, flood, drought, thunderstorms. Okay. Then Lisa, blizzard, hurricane, tornado, flood. Eva, tornado, flood, hurricane, drought, blizzard. Karina, hurricane, flood, drought, blizzard, tornado. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Thanks for your answers. And now it's time for the grammar exercises. So, what do we need to do? Let's have a look at the first task. Yelisey Popov, hello, hello, hello. You're a little bit late, I think. Okay, so here we have 10 sentences. And our task is to finish the sentences with the modal verb. Must, mustn't, have to, or don't have to. So let's have a look at the first sentence. Look at the sign. You jump into that forbidden area. So you must, you mustn't, you have to, or you don't have to. What's the correct answer? So you write the correct answer in the chat box. You have 10 sentences. You don't need to rewrite the sentences. So write only the number and the correct verb. For example, number 1, must. Number 2, mustn't. Number 3, have to. Number 4, don't have to. Be careful with have to and don't have to, because this is a semi-modal verb. Semi-modal verb. So what it means? It means that have to and don't have to have another forms. Have to for he, she, it has to, and don't have to for I will use they, for he, she, it we use doesn't have to. So you have 5 minutes in the chat box right now. Write your answers, the number and the correct modal verb. So let's have a look at more sentences. Number 2, you call him tonight. You can speak to him face to face tomorrow. So, and be careful with the positive form or the negative form. So it's also necessary to understand which form we need to use. Not only which modal verb we need to use, but also which form. Number 3, you submit your application on time. Mary, go to the dentist immediately. She is in great pain. Number 5, you buy a ticket there to get into the beach. It's a historical site. Gary, get a visa to the Nepal. He can't go there in another way. Number 7, she, buy another kettle. I've just repaired the old one. Number 8, my dentist says to our daughter that she brush her teeth twice a day. Number 9, you cut your hair. It's very long. And the last one, you cheat in the exam. So, I see some answers for this task. Let's have a look at them. Okay, Anna wrote have to number 1. Look at your sign. You have to jump into that forbidden area. What is it forbidden? It means that you can go to this area or you can't go to this area. Okay, number 2, must. You must call him tonight. You can speak to him face to face tomorrow. So think about it. Number 4, don't have to. You don't have to. Mary don't have to go to the dentist immediately. She's in great pain. And 8, my dentist says to our daughter that she must brush her teeth twice a day. Okay. Number 9, don't have to. You don't have to cut your hair. It's very long. Okay, not all answers, so you still have time. Write down the answers in the chat box. And when you write your answer, think about the sentence, the context of the sentence, what it means. So it's needed to do or not. So it's necessary or not. Can you do that or not? So, okay. And for everyone who is ready with this task, you can come to the next task. So what you need to do in the next activity, you need to choose the correct option. Also, you have 10 sentences. For each sentence, there is an option, 2 or 3 options. Your task is only to choose one correct. Also, in the chat box, write down the number and the correct modal verb. Okay, so I see some answers for exercise 1. Okay, number 1, mustn't. Number 2, don't have to call. Must, should, must have to. In exercise 1, we don't need to use should, like there isn't in the task, I think. Okay, so while you're writing, I will come to exercise 2 and read the sentences. You should, shouldn't, or have to eat too many calories. You will get fat. So what do you think? Which modal is correct? You should eat, you shouldn't eat, or you have to eat? Number 2, she don't have to, doesn't have to, or must tidy up now. I'll do it later. Number 3, my brother have to, has to, doesn't have to wear a tie at his work. He's a lawyer. Number 4, you mustn't or you must smoke in the office. It's the rule. 5, we have a lot of work tomorrow. You mustn't, you don't have to be late. Number 6, I have to, I must, I don't have to clean the floor today because I cleaned it yesterday. Number 7. We don't have to forget to set the alarms before we leave. Number 8. Niria can't come because he doesn't have to, has to, or have to work tomorrow. Number 9. We don't have to bring your passport or you won't board the plane. And 10, you don't have to, or you have to drink and drive. Okay, so write down your answers in the chat box. For exercise 1 and for exercise 2. And we're going to check them together. I see some more answers. Okay. Okay, who is active today? Let's have a look. I see Nikita. Mustn't, can or must. Okay, have to, must, should, don't have to, should. Okay. So let's have a look at answers for number 1. Look at the sign. You mustn't jump into the forbidden area. So this is forbidden area, yeah? And it's not allowed to do that. So we use mustn't because there is a rule or a law. Number 2, you don't have to call him tonight. You can speak to him face to face tomorrow. Don't have to, we use when it's not necessary. Yeah, so it's not like you don't need to do that. Yeah, you don't have to call him because tomorrow you can speak with him face to face. Number 3, you must submit your application on time. So it's also a rule that you need to follow. Number 4, Mary must go to the dentist immediately. She is in great pain. So it is her obligation. She must do that immediately. Number 5, you have to buy a ticket there to get into the beach. It's a historical site. Number 6, Gary has to get a visa to the Nepal. He can't go there in another way. We use have to, and this is the form for he, she, it, so we change it to has to. Number 7, she doesn't have to buy another kettle. I've just repaired the old one. It's not necessary. Number 8, my dentist says to our daughter that she has to brush her teeth twice a day. Like a recommendation, the necessity of doing something. Number 9, you must cut your hair. It's very long. Number 10, you mustn't cheat in the exam. Yeah, it's forbidden. And let's come to task 2. You shouldn't eat too many calories. You will get fat. So, shouldn't. She doesn't have to tidy up now. I will do it later. So, it's not necessary. My brother has to wear a tie at his work. He's a lawyer. So this is his obligation. You mustn't smoke in this office. It's the rule. We have a lot of work tomorrow. You mustn't be late. I don't have to clean the floor today because I cleaned it yesterday. Number 7, we mustn't forget to set the alarms before we leave. Niria can't come because he has to work tomorrow. Number 9, we must bring our passport or you won't board the plane. It's the rule. And the last one, you mustn't drink and drive. It's forbidden. Okay, so let's have a look at your answers. Okay, so we have mustn't, don't have to, must, should, must have to. Okay. I see some answers. Lisa, have to, must, should, don't have to, should. Okay. If it's for task 1, I want to remind you, we don't use should or shouldn't in task 1, yeah? Okay, let's come to next. Nikita, mustn't, can, must. We also don't use can here, yeah, because we practice only must, have to, and should. Anna, shouldn't, doesn't have to, has to, mustn't. Okay, Yeva, mustn't, don't have to, must, have to, doesn't have to, must. Okay. I see some answers and I see some like incorrections. These models are so they all are used to talk about obligations. Yes, and when we use must, it means that there is a rule and we need to follow this rule. Or we have very strong moral obligation and we use must to talk about it. Should is more like a weak form of must, and it's more about rule that we can recommend. And have to is a little bit the same as must. Yeah, if to come to our rules. Yeah. She has to finish the report by 5. Yeah, because it's her obligation and someone told her to do that. Okay, good. Now it's time to do some activity. Not about the grammar, not about our vocabulary. So this activity is for the students who like some puzzles. So this is the surprise activity. You can see 2 pictures. Yeah, you can see the pearl and you can see the bus. Your task is to understand which word is hidden in these pictures. The first person who answers correctly gets the present from Study Academy. So you have 1 minute. Write down your answers in the chat box. What's the hidden word? What's the hidden word? Have a look. We have 2 pictures, the pearl and the bus. Okay, I see Karina answered the first. Earth, that's right. So, Karina, you are the first one to answer it correctly. So, my congratulations. You have the present from Study Academy. Great, good. Okay, so for everyone who didn't answer or answered not correctly, don't worry. We will have this activity next time. Yeah, so I think everyone will get his or her present very soon. Okay, good. So it's time to come back to our activities. And this time we are going to practice using the models of obligation. Okay, So it's called the random wheel. So I spin the wheel and the arrow shows one task. You need to write down the answer in the chat box. What do you need to write? 2 things you don't have to do when you are on holiday. So you write down 2 sentences. You start with I don't have to. What you don't have to do when you're on holiday. Like now you're on your summer holiday. So what you don't have to do? For example, I don't have to do my homework. I don't have to wake up early. Yes, because I'm on holiday. I'm on my summer holiday. So write down in the chat box 2 sentences. Write down these sentences, full sentences, yeah? I don't have to. I see one answer by Anna, go to school, okay. You can write I don't have to go to school. Yeah, I don't have to go to school. What are the things you don't have to do when you're on holiday? Okay, while you're writing, let's come to the next one. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Write down 2 things you mustn't do when you are driving. So what rules we have when we drive the car? Elizaveta, I don't have to go to school. I don't have to study every day. Okay, good. Now let's come to the next one. Yeah, you mustn't do when you are driving. You start your sentence with I mustn't. For example, I mustn't listen to music, or I mustn't talk to someone. Okay, Yeva, I don't have to go to school. I don't have to do my homework. Okay, good. So write down your answers in the chat box. What you mustn't do when you are driving. Okay, while you're writing your answers, let's come to I mustn't speak at phone. Okay. So write down 2 things you should consider if you go on a date. To go on a date is when a boy, yeah, with a girl come to the cafe or to the restaurant, to the park, or to the, I don't know, cinema. Yeah, you start your sentence with I should. I mustn't type on phone. Yes, that's right. When we drive, we mustn't do that. It's dangerous. So what about 2 things you should do or you should consider if you go on a date? Okay, I see more answers. I mustn't to type SMS and other things that are on phone. After mustn't, we don't use do. Yeah, so I mustn't type. Or must type, yeah. Must not type. Okay. So I mustn't talk on the phone. I mustn't send message. Okay. So let's come to the next one. Let's spin the wheel. You should wear a beautiful dress and be lady. Oh, as an option, great. So write down 2 things you have to do after your lessons today. So do you have anything you have to do after our today's lesson? You start your sentence with I have to. I have to. I have to conduct more English lessons after today's lesson, or I have to clean my room. You should look beautiful, okay? Or why not? Okay. You have to do after your lessons today. So write down your answers. Okay, let's come to the next one. I must learn 5 new words. Oh, great. The next thing is you don't have to do if you shop online. So 2 things that you don't have to do if you shop online. Anna, I must read 20 pages of book. Oh, okay. Nice. I have to do my homework. I have to help my mom. Okay, good. So what you don't have to do if you shop online. Yeah, I don't have to try on clothes. Yeah, or I don't have to, I don't know, like I don't have to go to the real shop. Yeah, because I shop online. Okay. I should have beautiful dress. I should have beautiful hairstyle. Okay, good. The next thing, which you had to do as a child and which you found difficult. Oh, it's a little bit, I think, difficult task, but think. When you were younger, yeah, what you had to do and you found it difficult. Yeah, for example, I had to learn all the subjects. Yeah, it was difficult for me. Yeah, I had to learn all the subjects, or I had to go to some extra classes. I have to look at the review. Okay, yes, by the way, nice idea. Okay, let's come to the next. So, you must do to improve your English. Yeah, what you must do to improve your English? Think about it. I must learn 10 words every day, or I must write the exercises. I must watch our English films, English movies. Okay, think about how you can improve your English and what you must do that, to achieve that. Okay. I had to learn lots of English and maths. Okay. Next one. You won't have to do after you finish your studies. So this is the future. What you will not have to do when you finish your studies, when you finish school, for example. It's for the far future, but think about it. What you won't have to do when you finish your studies. For example, I will not have to study maths, or I will not have to go to school when I finish. Yeah. I had to study all subjects. I must learn 5 new words. I must read English books. I must read books, magazines, and watch films in English. I must do activities. Okay. Let's come to the next one. So, you shouldn't do at a job interview. So, what are the 2 things that you shouldn't do at a job interview? Probably you have not had any job interviews yet. But from my experience, you shouldn't be late, of course. Yeah, because no one likes people that are late. Yeah, it's like a bad habit to be late. And one more thing is you shouldn't be rude. Yeah, you shouldn't say bad words and so on. Okay, let's have a look at more answers. I won't go to school. I won't stay in Ukraine. I will not have to go to school. I will not have to stay in Ukraine. I won't have to go to school. I won't have to study maths. Okay. Let's come to the next one. I shouldn't be crazy. I shouldn't be late. Okay. So, you must do if you're invited to a wedding. Yeah, you know, wedding is when two people get married and they have the big party. I won't have to go to school. I won't have to carry a heavy backpack. Okay. So, what you must do if you're invited to a wedding? I must bring a present, of course. Yeah. And I must have a good mood, of course. I shouldn't be late. I shouldn't say some bad words. Okay. Okay, let's come to the next one. You must do before you go on a long journey by car. There are a lot of things to do, yeah? You can write, I must bring a map, or I must bring GPS. It's necessary because if you get lost, it's going to be a very big problem. And I must, for example, I must know where the petrol stations are. It's necessary. Okay, let's see more answers. I must wear very beautiful dress. I must have a good mood. Okay. I should dress up in a beautiful dress. I should bring a present. I must bring a present. I must have to have a good style. I must have a good style. So you shouldn't do before you go to bed. What you shouldn't do? You shouldn't watch a lot of films. Just sit with your smartphone, yeah, because it influences your sleep. I must take clothes and a lot of food. Okay, I must take food. Okay. And it's going to be the last one. What you shouldn't do before you go to bed. Okay. I must prepare for the journey, map, clothes, etc. I must have a petrol. Okay, that's right. Okay, so good. This task is more helpful for you, I see, and you wrote a lot of interesting answers. And it's time to come to the vocabulary section. Yeah, our vocabulary is connected to weather words. So let's have a look at the task. You can see the box with the words. Your task is to put the words in the correct column, yeah, in the correct category. So we have 4 categories. How the weather feels, what's coming from the sky, types of storms, and words that describe the sky. So right now, number 1, it's number 1 category, yeah? How the weather feels. This is number 1. Number 2, what's coming from the sky? Number 3, types of storms. And number 4, what words that describe the sky. As you are writing, I'm going to go through your answers. I shouldn't watch horror films. I shouldn't be very active. Okay. I must take earphones. I must download a movie. Don't use must to. It's not correct. We use have to. But after must, we don't use to. I shouldn't watch TV. Okay. So let's come to the next task. So here are the words: warm, rain, blizzard, snow, tornado, cool, icy, partly cloudy, temperature, foggy, hail, sleet, hazy, sunny, windy, cold, hot, sprinkle, and hurricane. So write down number 1 and all the words that we use to talk about how the weather feels. Number 2, words that's coming from the sky. Yeah, what's coming from the sky? 3, types of storms, and 4, words that describe the sky. Warm. Yeah, warm, this is about how the weather feels. Rain, this is what's coming from the sky. Blizzard, this is the type of storm. Snow, this is what's coming from the sky. Tornado, this is types of storms. Cool, like the temperature, yeah. Icy, this is, I think it's weather, how the weather feels, yeah. Partly cloudy, so this is the word that describes the sky. Temperature, or like how the weather feels, yeah. Foggy, what's coming from the sky? Hail, what's coming from the sky? Or hail, sleet, yeah, so this is types of storms. Or no, I would say that what's coming from the sky. Hazy are the word that describes the sky. Sunny, describe the sky. Windy, weather feels. Cold, weather feels. Hot, weather feels. Sprinkle, what's coming from the sky. And hurricane, types of storm. Okay, I see some answers. Number 1, warm, cool, temperature, cold, hot, icy. Okay, so write down for number 2, number 3, and number 4. And as you're writing, let's come to the game. Let's play it. The game is about our weather. I'm going to share my screen. So this is our bamboozle. So let's play as one team. Okay. So I want to see some answers for the previous task. Okay, as it's downloading, let's come to the task. So today is the 9th of July, so let's start with this number. So what kind of extreme weather is this? Do you know this extreme weather, what it is? It looks a little bit scary, yeah? Is it a hurricane? Is it blizzard or tornado? What kind of extreme weather is this? Okay, I see more answers for the previous task. Warm, cool, icy, temperature. Number 2, rain, snow. Number 3, blizzard, tornado. Number 4, partly cloudy. Okay. Okay, I see Anya answer tornado. It's a hurricane. A hurricane. This is how the hurricane looks like. Okay, let's come to number 4. What kind of extreme weather is this? Have a look at the picture. So, what about this? Okay, 7, please. Okay, I will choose 7 after that. So this is a tornado. That's right. 7. Okay, Yava 1-7. What kind of extreme weather is this? It's the same. Okay, what about this one? Have a look. What's going on? What's happening? Do you know tornado? Let's check. This is the earthquake. So when the earth shakes. Okay, let's take number 12. What kind of extreme weather is this? Earthquake, yeah, that's right. So what about this one? Do you know how we call it in English? So this is a hailstorm. Hails are these like small icy cubes, yeah? And in English, this kind of weather is called hailstorm. Okay, let's take one. Hail, that's right. What kind of extreme weather is this? Have a look. This is so dry. Really dry surface. Really dry soil. So when we don't have rain, when the weather isn't wet, what kind of extreme weather is this? Who knows this? So this is a drought, yeah, drought. When there hasn't been rain for a long period of time. Okay, let's take number 6. Oh, just 50 points. Looking at the drought, that's right. Let's take number 10. What kind of extreme weather is this? Have a look. It's dangerous, yeah? Do you know what it is? It's scary and dangerous. Okay, you have a drought. So this is a sandstorm. Yeah, sandstorm. Cyclone. It's not a cyclone, it's the sandstorm. Okay, let's take 11. Okay, what kind of weather is this? Any ideas? Foggy? No, flood. Okay, let's have a look at this weather. So this is something with snow, yeah? This is a blizzard, winter, snow. Okay, but the weather condition is called blizzard, a blizzard. That's right, Elizabeth. Okay, let's take number 5. Oh, we don't have the picture here. Okay, thunder, just like, okay, extra points. Let's take 8. What kind of extreme weather is this? Snow, blizzard. Okay, what about this one? Have you ever experienced this weather, extreme weather condition? Usually it happens with rain, yeah, when it's a little bit dark outside, but not usually dark, yeah. So this weather condition is lightning, yeah, lightning. Okay, let's take number 2. What kind of extreme weather is this? Have a look at the picture. We have the water everywhere. You have a lightning, that's right. Lightning. Elizabeth, the lightning, good, okay. And what about this extreme weather condition? What do you think about this picture? So this is the flood. That's right, girls. Flood. Okay, and the last one. Oh, the last one is just been. Okay, so we've got 175 points. Good job, girls and boys. Yeah, we have Nikita. I saw him answering. Okay, good. Well done. So it's time to have one more activity to finish our live webinar. Okay, so let's have some practice. Yeah, tell us about. Choose one number. Choose one number and write down the answer. So this is about our models. Okay, one more answer, one more task. For example, I'd like to choose number 4. 3 things you don't have to do when you're on holiday. So you choose one number and you write the answer to the task that is under your number. For example, my number is 4. 3 things you don't have to do when you're on holiday. You don't have to forget all necessary things. You don't have to work and you don't have to study. You have to relax, of course. So choose one number, read the task, and write down your answer. So this is going to be the last task for today to finish and sum up everything that we've learned with you today, that we've revised with you. Okay, so you can write the number, for example, number 19, number 3, number 8, and so on, and write your answer in the chat box. So guys, I want to summarize everything that we've revised with you today. We talked about the vocabulary, yes, the second part of our live webinar. So we revised extreme weather conditions, yeah, blizzard, hurricane, hailstorm, thunderstorm, earthquake, lightning, tornado, cyclone, yeah. We practiced it, yeah, we played the game. And the first part of our webinar was devoted to the grammar, our models of obligation. Must, have to, and should. Yeah, must and should are modal verbs. They have only one form for all persons. And to make a negative form, we use not, mustn't, or shouldn't. And have to is a semi-modal verb because it changes its form, has to. And to make a negative form, we use don't have to or doesn't have to. Okay, I see some answers. Number 2, I have to feed my pet, I have to read book. Number 2, 2 things you have to do after class today. Okay, good. And number 8 are number 8, the things you should think about before you buy a new phone. Do I need a phone? What for? Is the price okay or it's normal? Okay, good. Good. Okay. Okay, good. So let's finish for today. I wish you very good weekend. Relax, enjoy your summer with Study Academy, and see you